So you're ready to purchase a home in Hoboken. You've been on the internet, you've been on Redfin and Zillow and all over the place looking at properties. You have a good idea what you're looking for, but now what do we do? What's up, guys? This is Jeff Bonk with the HBB Group and eXp Realty here in Hoboken. We have had the honor and privilege to work with over 1,000 clients over the last 10 years here in Hoboken, and we are going to take you today through the steps, piece by piece, to get from the internet to an accepted offer here in Hoboken, the things to watch out for, the red flags that you should be looking out for, who to talk to next, and where to go from here. The first thing you need to do is you need to pick a good, local, experienced realtor. I'm not going to go into all the details of all the questions you should ask them and all the experiences they should have, but make sure there's a couple things. One, they bought and sold homes in the town that you're looking, in this instance, Hoboken. They have experience and a track record. They've seen enough properties that they'll know what to look for. They'll know what red flags pop up, and they just have enough overall data in their back pocket to be able to provide the right experience for you. Number three, make sure they have a really good system behind them, even if it's a single agent or a team. Just make sure there's a process for how they work with clients, how they handle transactions, and make sure nothing falls through the cracks. From there, you should be meeting with that agent to do what we call a buyer consultation. What a buyer consultation is simply just sitting down with this new trusted professional you're going to work with, going through what all your wants and your needs and your timeline and all the questions you have, and really developing a strategy and a game plan to execute your home search so you can make sure you find the right property at the right time with as little stress and issues as possible. A lot of buyers out there will be really anxious to start seeing properties, and I get it. It's exciting. There's a lot. I want to get inside. I want to open the cabinets. I want to look in the bedroom. I want to just check out the whole place. And there's time for that. It's coming real soon. But just make sure we have that strategy session first. That's key to having the ability to find the right property in the right way. Once you have that consultation, you're going to have a strategy set out. You're going to have a game plan ready to execute. There's one more thing to do before we really start shopping for homes, and that's make sure we talk to a good local lender. Just like the realtor side, I'm not going to go into all the details, but similar, right? You want someone who loans in the kind of market that you're in. He knows the buildings. He or she knows the market. They have experience. They've seen a lot of crazy things over their years, so they are going to be able to help you see around corners and see red flags when they come up as well. Connecting with that lender, make sure that you're shopping in the right price point. You know what your payments are going to be, and it also establishes a relationship. So when rates change or terms change or the market changes, that lender is going to be able to update you, because that might change the price point you're looking at. Maybe it goes up or down. All different things that can shift and change in that market. So it's important to have a relationship from the get-go with somebody good and local. Side note, you don't have to work with a particular lender at the end. You can still check rates later. I know it's an important thing to everyone. Well, if I lock in with somebody, this is just somebody that you're getting into a relationship with that you can then check rates later. Hopefully they can still have the best rates and you can continue working with them. That's kind of the overall situation when it comes to lenders and picking the right one. From there, we're going to start to execute that search. We have a plan, we have a timeline. It's all going to depend on what you're looking for, how flexible you are, what your timeline is. Like, do you have a lease coming up in 3 months and we have to get you in something in 3 months? Or do you have flexibility? You're month to month. Maybe you have 6 months. You're starting really early. Awesome. If we have an idea of that and we know what's on the market, how much availability is out there, how many offers there are on those types of properties that you're looking for, now we can really start being smart and strategic with our time and energy and effort to make sure we see the right property. There's some circumstances when, right after I meet with a client, we need to go see 10 properties and they got to pick one because we don't have time. There's other times when we're going to go out in 2 weeks and we're going to just explore the neighborhood and get to know things, right? So there's all different ways that these searches and these strategies really set up. One way or another, there's going to become a 30-day window. That's about maybe 90 days before you need to be in that home. And that 30-day window is where you need to find your property. You need to be able to really hone in on the right one and have an idea of what kind of property you would make an offer on. When that time's here, that's when things get real. You might need to see properties the same day they come on the market. You might need to see a property come on Wednesday and get in there on a Friday or no later than that weekend. So that's a strategy that kind of becomes inside of the strategy of when we're really looking for properties. So let's go through that. We found the right property. We're ready to make an offer. There's a few different things we want to focus on when we're making an offer. We need two very specific sets of data, and this is something that your realtor is going to help you out with. We need one, what is the market data? So the property is listed at $1 million. Are there comps and recent sales that support that, right? Are you making a good financial decision by paying $1 million, a little bit more than $1 million, or getting a little bit less than $1 million? Where do you need to be to make this make financial sense? That's one part of the equation. The other part, though, is what is the seller's situation? This is where having a good local realtor comes into play. Does your realtor hopefully have a relationship with that listing agent and they can get a good insight into what the seller's situation is? They need to move tomorrow, so the best, quickest terms are going to matter. Or they don't even know where they're going yet, so the most flexibility and longest terms are going to matter. they had a horrible experience with a mortgage from another buyer 6 months ago, so they really want a cash offer or a strong local lender, or they don't really care, they just want the best number. So having that relationship and being able to get that information can compile things together, where now you have data, market stats, comps, things like that, and you have the seller's specific situation, maybe how many offers are on it or how many they're expecting. You put those two together, now you can really be able to formulate what makes sense for you to put forward as an offer on this property. From there, we're going to present that offer. We're going to collect the pre-approval. We're going to put the offer in contract form, which is another topic for another time. But in New Jersey, there's a thing called attorney review. Everything gets done in full contract form, even though it's not binding yet, right? So you can talk to an attorney at this point, or talk to your realtor. They'll be able to give you an idea of how this process really works. We're going to put together those two things, potentially a little note to the seller or a little video to the seller, letting them know how much you like their property and how you're really excited to move into it. In a competitive market, things like that really matter. We're going to compile those things and we're going to present it in one nice, clean way. The worst thing you could do as a buyer or buyer's agent when you're presenting an offer is, here's an offer and here's a pre-approval and hold on, I'm going to update something. And it just makes a mess. And being very clean and very precise the way you present things is going to help your chances either to get a good price and negotiate, or to get it accepted if there's multiple offers. Once that offer's in, we're going to negotiate without much more paperwork. It's going to be more verbal and more through email and text message of the seller responds with this, or hey, we have multiple offers, we're going to need everyone's best offer by this time. And we're going to go back and forth depending on the situation and negotiate. Once that's done, we're going to update that contract. They accepted your offer. We're ready to go. We get a new clean contract. Both sides sign that contract, and we begin attorney review. You have an accepted offer. At this point, the last thing I'll leave with is that's not binding. So you can walk away for any reason whatsoever. The seller can walk away for any reason whatsoever, including another better offer comes in. But at the same time, if you see another property that makes more sense, you can easily pivot to that as well. So that's not binding yet. We're going to get through attorney review. That's going to be our next video, talking a little bit about accepted offer all the way through the closing table. But that's the steps to get to the internet to accepted offer.